You don't know until you see it. You don't understand until it happens to you. For most people, gender is a no-brainer. You are what you were designated at birth. When you're trans, gender is a constant performance, self-conscious, deliberate. When your lungs are compromised and you can't breathe, you can't bind your chest. Even if your breasts are a part of you that scream, woman, female. Most people never second guess which clothes beyond if they look good or if they're comfortable, but choosing a shirt can be everything. And when you aren't a woman but want to wear a dress, but you can't handle another day full of the wrong pronouns, the wrong names, or worse, you choose something else. Some things don't change because of your gender, at least not when you're at home, if your home accepts you. Driving is neutral enough. Just pray if you get stopped by a police officer, they don't misgender you. That you're privileged enough to be somewhere your ID can match your identity, because if you don't, everyday jail for trans folk isn't like it is for Sophia on Orange is the New Black. Your whiteness may help protect you. Institutions aren't your friend when your gender is beyond the binary. Pray you don't need to use a bathroom before you make it home. Pray there's someone to hear your prayer, someone who doesn't hate you because you are trans. Work is neutral, except when your boss calls you the wrong pronouns, even though you've reminded them, even though you changed your name to make it easier. They aren't aware because even though they know you, they aren't the people being misidentified for something they are not and never pretended to be. Except that even computers can be enemies. Outing you to your coworkers, peers, teachers, students. Except that most buildings were designed with two genders in mind, and you are not either of them. You can choose between the lesser of two evils. Listening for voices, checking under stalls for feet, running into the nearest open door, praying again to a God you hope hears you that no one sees. Or you can leave the building. Two floors down and 2 doors away is a single occupancy restroom designed for disabilities more than gender variance. But it's neutral or inclusive. It is an opportunity not to be boxed when all you want to do, have to do, is pee. You may wonder if having to explain is your punishment for pursuing your authentic self. And you will have to explain in every introduction, every day, for the rest of your life. Trying to normalize. Hi, my name is Carson. I use they, them, their pronouns. What's your name and what pronouns do you use? And you'll hope they don't get mad. Ask you angered questions.
What pronouns do I use? Can't you tell?
And you'll hope they don't make it about them.
I'll try to remember, but if I forget, you just need to remember that this is really hard for me, and I'm sorry, but I'm really just not used to this.
Or give you a grammar lesson.
They isn't a singular pronoun.
Hoping that maybe they'll have met someone like you before and try to understand without saying,
Oh, you're trans? I met someone trans once. Her name was Daisy. Do you know Daisy?
hoping that they don't recognize that what you just said means you're not like them. You don't want to become another name to be read at the Trans Day of Remembrance. You try anyway. Life devoid of interaction is too lonely, too inhuman. You go back to your office and finish your work. You go home. Get changed. Walk the dog. She doesn't care what gender you are. When your husband is home from school, you hang out with him. Knowing you aren't a woman, he calls you his wife. People question your romantic orientations. Neither of you are what folks would call straight. Neither of you are what most folks would call gay. He's a man, you are not. You are not a woman. He's the person who cuts your hair because gender neutral is not in the salon's vocabulary, and the friend who understands what it means to not be seen as yourself, regardless of how hard you try. You work together to create a world a little more accepting of the transness of your bodies, of your minds. No matter how much pain you're in at the end of the day, at least there is someone at home who understands what it's like to be misgendered and misnamed. Someone who understands what it's like to stress about using the bathroom or going to a doctor's office, or who has had someone say, "I don't see your gender, I just see you." But you know they can't. Because if they don't see your gender, they cannot see your experience. Every day you pick your battles. Will you correct your boss? Will you come out to a teacher or a classmate, a new friend? Will you feel the pain that comes with the ma'am at the grocery store? Will you still be homesick knowing that you couldn't be your authentic self in your small hometown? Tomorrow you will begin again, explaining why neutral is still trans and how your pronouns are not grammatical anomalies, that you too are human. Explaining that genderqueer is the politically correct term you use because genderfucked is apparently aggressive and assaultive. But genderfucked is the political term that refuses to be politically correct and which identifies you most authentically. Fucked over by policy and people putting you into a box you're not sure you ever fit in, even when you tried. Genderfucked is every person restricted by roles assigned to genitals through social constructions and understandings of men and women that do not permit neutrality. You are non-binary, genderqueer, genderfluid, genderfucked. You don't know until you see it. You don't understand until it happens to you.